Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another match of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. Today we got Arispici versus Kyle. I'm Casual Tom, and I got LV Creed in the booth with me. How you doing, Creed?
What's up, everybody? Your boy LV Creed here, doing some assisting with Casual Tom here, who's not a stranger to this randomizer and many other things that are Mega Man, especially involving ROM hacks. But yeah, just hoping for a good race between our runners here. Like you said, we got Arispici and Kyle in our round 1 matchup. Both our runners doing Tournament A, so we're going to be doing 80% but revealed stages, and we're going to be doing that for all 3 races as our racers have agreed upon.
So we're probably just about ready to start the countdown pretty soon. Oh, never mind. It's already going. Alright, so you should see it up here on the screen any moment now.
Yep, you know how it is. You're going to have our EO stream delay, but once again, the countdown is running, the floodgates have been released, and our dogs of war will be going up against each other in a few moments.
Very exciting. We got some custom sprites on each side here. We got Arispici with Roll, and Kyle looks like he's using Quint once again. From Mega Man 2 World, Game Boy, whatever you want to call it. And there they go.
Alright, so with our stage reveal, our runners will have a little bit of easier access in how they would like to route. And as usual, we get our start going to Quickman stage. Quickman stage being one of our usual go-tos, even though it has instant death with the force beams. Our runners are pretty much adept to the stage, and it has a free E-Tank and extra life. So it's one of those early stages where you can get some easy safeties.
Yeah, I just had someone recently ask me why Quickman first, and that's actually probably the biggest reason. Those 1-ups and E-Tanks are free, and there's really not much benefit going to the stage later on once you get more utilities. They're really not going to help a whole lot in most cases, so quick enough stage, pretty consistent, just go through it right away. The worst thing that can happen is just if you go through this corridor right now, these enemies are all weak to the buster, so not going to give them any trouble. If they're not, that's when things usually get a bit rough. Let's see how they do with the quick beams. Probably won't be a problem. They've done this a couple times before. We got the black quick beams today, which is usually a real treat if you ever get a black background. That does happen.
But yeah, to add on your talk about this not really all that helpful. Yeah, you can get items later on to probably help for this stage later under certain circumstances, but because of how the randomization works, the items you may get may not even be beneficial to work with. So going to Quickman early in this regard is still not too bad of a play, as Kyle and Ari are about to fight their first boss in the Quickman boss room, and look like we got ourselves a Woodman here.
Kyle gonna play it risky, get up real close, try and shoot through the shield. See if he needs to use that E-Tank. Both of them getting a little low on health here. Alright, Kyle is out. Ari's gonna play it safe. Yeah, I mean, his wood's still got a little bit of health left. And, okay, no items yet. Looks like Kyle's actually gonna do Bubble next. I wonder if we're gonna see a little bit of a route diversion from... Nope, Ari's doing Bubble next as well. Huh. Interesting choice.
So yeah, the Woodman wasn't too bad. The falling leaves were falling extremely slow, which gave Woodman more time to be vulnerable, have the leaf shield down, but since it was 2 shots rather than 4 shots for the buster, it was quite a bit of a slog of a fight. As you saw, Ari had to use that E-Tank in order to survive. Meanwhile, here in Moa Man stage, with no items in tow, and with Zips being available, since this is 80%, you're going to see both our runners attempt the buster only method of doing the bubble zip, in which you pretty much do a lot of pause buffers to reset vertical momentum and put you in a state where you, as Kyle shows, get wedged to the ceiling and continue to zip. A very good starter zip to learn if you wanted to learn how zips work.
Yeah, it was nice to see Ari make it through as well. Looked like he was a little bit borderline there, but he managed to pull it off. That's good, less pause buffers. Maybe it'll give him a little bit of a chance to catch up a little bit. Still a really close race, but still early. We got some Toxic Seahorse music from Mega Man X3 playing right now, if I'm correct.
Uh-huh.
with the nice green background to match. Let's see what we got behind door number 2.
Or get a fortunate health will help for whatever boss is in this room, and our boss is it's gonna be a Flashman. So honestly, should be a relatively easy boss. Flash relatively jumpy, and of course, ooh, very short time stopper, but really doesn't matter since, you know, thanks to how we got our coding set up for the rando, we instantly pause out of our the time stopper whenever Flashman uses it.
Yeah, that's a relatively new feature, if I'm correct. I wasn't even aware of it until I watched another racer, Swift, actually do that during a race. So I've been doing that since I caught that, watching that one. So that's why I always say, watch races and learn. You know, listen to commentary, watch what other racers are doing. And just, you know, don't be afraid to try new things. Alright, Flash a good early stage also. No instant death traps, spikes, pits do not exist. And there's another E-Tank that probably be able to get a lot of the time depending on the enemy set in the final screen. You can also test the wall weakness. You can see it's not weak to Buster. And
should make a quick note that we did get out of 3 for Bubble Bath stage. Both our runners do have that equipped, but it's not really useful at this stage, so we're just gonna see how they're gonna respond to it later on in other stages. But yeah, both Kyle and Ari just rolling through Flashman stage. We're gonna see if they gonna opt to go for the E-Tank. Well, both of them did use their E-Tanks respectively, so they're probably gonna go for the E-Tank later on, assuming that the enemies are friendly enough to make the upper straightaway.
So far, this looks pretty friendly. Oh, no, that's gonna be trouble. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to get up there without item 1, I don't think. So let's just hope for a Buster Soft weak boss behind door number 3. Ari really catching up on Kyle. Still a very close race. Just about a couple seconds apart at this point.
Kyle having to double check the doors to make sure it's not busted weak since he didn't get out the first pass. And we got ourselves a medal here in this room.
Soft weak.
Yep, this should be a pretty easy match. It should be.
Trouble here, I wouldn't even... Yeah. Yeah, just as easy as we expected. Now they're about, what, like a second or 2 apart? Ari really catching up. It's getting pretty exciting. Really? Crash next. Okay. Gonna put that item 3 to use. Now we got a route diversion. Okay.
Yeah. You going to Crash is usually not recommended unless you have a couple of extra items, especially item 1, to at least attempt some zips here. But you do have a means to do it Buster only, but these shrimps are not really making things easy for Kyle, and the spawning one is probably in the worst possible area.
They're so fast. Ari also going to metal right away, probably just wanted to grab another E-Tank as soon as he could. That's another stage we could really benefit from an item, but also not usually the most difficult. And again, free E-Tank every time. Alright, so... yeah, is Kyle gonna go for it again, or is he gonna... Oh, he's gonna go for it again. Hope he gets it on this attempt.
He was wedged in a proper spot the first time, but he just wasn't able to get the proper trigger to initiate the wraparound to set up for the... What? Let's take a chance?
Easy.
There we go.
Ooh. Okay, good. Yeah, pause canceling out of the damage there so you can grab the ladder. And just pause canceling in general.
Yeah,
oh, no.
he was very low on health, so he could not take 2 hits from the shrimp in order to successfully make the death warp point. But not to ignore Ari's progress, he's already at the next boss room, fighting quick, if not Buster weak, so he's gonna dig through the weapons to see if he has anything to work with, and opt to just stick with Buster, not even gonna try Flash.
The nice thing about trying Flash in these more recent builds of the randomizer is you can pause cancel out of it if it doesn't appear to be having any effect on the boss. Ooh, playing a little bit close right there. He got it! Nice clutch move by Ari right there.
Meanwhile, Kyle did manage to get the setup for the crash zips. Gonna just do a couple of screen scrolls as the stage does continue to move around as things wrap around. Hopefully he has the lines to keep going.
And Ari picks up item 2 from metal. Well, from quick in metal stage, rather. We're gonna see some item 3 pause exploitation on Kyle's side. Probably couldn't wait to put that item 3 to use. Can't really blame him. Very useful in the crash stage. Now we can pause cancel out of weapons and utilities.
Yeah, that was probably the main reason why Kyle wanted to just go ahead and do crash right then and there, knowing how to do the Buster style crash zip and having item 3 for the crash climb makes this a generally beneficial stage, but as we mentioned before, you would like to have another set of extra items to make some of these areas a little easier to traverse. But regardless of the matter, Kyle is on his way on the crash climb and should be heading towards the crash door soon enough. Meanwhile, Ari going to Woodman stage, we're gonna see he's gonna try for good wood and do the set of zips and navigation to Woodman stage. And it looks like he's well on his way.
Alright, that's always beautiful to see when people can pull that off. Still haven't quite learned that myself, but it's always very tempting. I noticed that he did not use any weapons against the hot dog mini bosses there though. I don't know if he tried it or not. Usually it's a good idea not to go to wood right away just so you can have a weapon or two to try it against those guys to get them out of the way quicker. But still in pretty good shape. Looks like he's on his way to doing the zip as we see Kyle go into the crash room. Airman and crash. Whoa. Instant killed himself, I guess.
Yeah, he did like his health there. So one of our newest features is that we actually have a self-destruct set of commands. So Kyle, realizing that his health was very bad, winds up using that self-destruct sequence and winds up just opting to start over, where he finds himself a Buster Soft Week airman crash.
As well as a Buster Soft Week heat in wood. That's probably the first time I can recall actually seeing the self-destruct put to good use like that. I hadn't even considered what situation that would be useful for, but now I can totally see that I need to commit that one to memory. Free E-Tank for Kyle right there in Metal Stage as Ari decides to take on Airman Stage.
Yeah, we've seen Metal before Ari's side, but in a way we were so focused on Kyle trying to do the crash setup that we really haven't noticed too much on what the stage actually had to offer, and it was a lot of easy to kill chickens. Meanwhile, Ari's dealing with the Joe friendly skies up here in Airman stage, and not looking too good. I look like the Joes themselves are Buster immune.
Ooh, that's gonna cost him. Yeah, that does quite a bit of damage when you take damage from the Armor Joe. It was always tempting, just because it seemed like it would die pretty quickly to Buster, but ooh, he takes another one right there. Hope he still has enough lives to keep going. Alright, well that'll, I guess sync things up a little bit more closely after the death Kyle took at Crash Stage. As Kyle makes it near the end of Metal. You know, Ari should be in pretty good shape, just considering that he's got all the items, but sometimes Rando just throws a bunch of hard-hitting enemies at you, and just gonna be a lot to deal with. Will he consider maybe using item 2 to try and get over the Armor Joes? He's probably saving it for the last screen.
Yeah, for screens like this, I definitely probably would have considered doing item 2 to just try to ignore all this nonsense, at least as far as possible, and just hope that things go better on your way until you get to the checkpoint.
When I look more closely, it seemed like those Joes were jumping pretty high, so probably would be better for him to save it for the last screen. It's always a risk, though. You never know what you're going to get behind the clouds. Alright, so Kyle gets out of Metal, and then he should get item 2, I believe.
Yeah, should be item 2.
There he goes. Alright, making up for that time in Air Stage. Still got that item 2, I believe. But yeah, that enemy set, not super encouraging probably, with all the prop tops dropping from the skies. As well as the baton tops.
The prop tops should be fine. It's the bats I would have been worried about hiding the clouds. But I'll still use the rest of the item 2 for the last set of screens before see who's in Airman's boss room.
Okay. Got Bubble Man. That should be fairly easy. He's not gonna try and hug on him like he sometimes likes to do. Still, only 2 damage per shot. But Ari's out. We're gonna see Kyle very likely pull off the item 3 zip on the very next screen. He's already got the item 3 out. Pause canceling to get rid of it so he can drop. And he's on his way up. Got Arispici right behind him in the same stage. Alright, Ari fell off, but smart enough to cancel out of it with pause. And he's back up. There he goes.
And with Auto 2 in hand, we gonna fully expect it to skip all these question block Yokus. That's a little low.
He knows. Alright, good. But that can always cause problems right there, yeah. At that point, you just want to, just take the blocks. Oh, is he gonna pause buffer? Okay, no, he's on the block. Whew. Yeah, once you're up, I mean, you could always just throw out another item too, especially if you have the ammo for it. But either way, he made it through, and still a bit ahead of Ari in this stage, but still kind of hard to say who's really ahead overall until we get through all the Robot Master stages. Just a couple left for each one. Oh, okay, never mind. Actually, Ari's only got a couple left.
Yeah, the situation in Crash technically put Ari in a little bit more of an advantage. But regardless, we do have Crash pretty much the soft week. She'll be able to win the damage race, and there you go. Crash down. Heatman stage done. And Kyle should be over to the next stage. Meanwhile, Ari is about to do the same fight. So it should be a relatively easy fight on Ari, but let's see how Kyle does with these very annoying Joes who are actually Buster. I thought I saw a tick at some point. He must have hit the Joe shield, and that's where I thought the Joes were immune.
Everyone seems like they're able to be damaged by Buster, and yeah, Kyle using the item 2 all the way from fairly early on, but yeah, getting a big time save there. See how it all adds up. And let's see what kind of zip Ari goes for. Will he go for the item 1 zip? That might be kind of tough with all the shrimp on the screen too.
I think it should be fine. Well, he's gonna go for the Buster only variant.
Interesting.
He does have item 1. I'm surprised he had tested item 1 because I don't think he got it at this point.
Alright, will he get that? Oh no! Oh no, never mind, he got it. Oh no,
he did.
He didn't even zip. Ah, I see, he didn't even make it into the wall. Could have fooled me. Seemed like he was pushed up against it far enough, but maybe with the custom sprites, not always as easy to tell.
What's that now? Nope.
Oh no! Really?
Another failed attempt. At this point, I will probably look. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's just gonna go for it, or he's just gonna go through the screens at this point. Item 1 will make it go by pretty quickly.
That's the thing. I don't remember seeing him even try item 1. Was item 1 good or bad? At least as far as our side go,
that's a good point.
We did not even see item 1 used at all.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty good for zipping.
Yeah, this is this looks like a very workable item 1 to at least try the second screen zip on. So, kind of a mental misplay on Ari's end, not even trying item 1 to try to zip. So, wound up taking a long way around. Wound up even some time out between he and Kyle at this point.
That's some pretty low health right there, getting pretty intense. I want to get rid of that shot, man. Let's see, is Kyle gonna use a weapon on the hot dogs? Yeah, he's gonna try something. Okay, that seems to be doing something, but not quite as effective as yeah, Crash. Usually you can find a weapon pretty easily that'll kill it in like a hit or two, or faster than the Buster.
Honestly, Crash doesn't look like he's doing all that much either, and yet go to the next page, see if you can find something a little more useful.
There you go, air shooter. Now, if he can get this good wood... Oh, never mind, he's not going for it. Or maybe okay, he's gonna try again.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he was just kind of observing the stage, because as we know, there's always a chance there could be some fan feeds along the way, and if fans wind up being in the way, he does have Time Stopper though, so it could have saved it, but under normal circumstances, all zips are usually stopped by fan feeds, and if you don't have a Time Stopper to try to mitigate that, nonsense, you wind up being soft locked.
Alright, Ari's out. And he's on to Wily 1 next. Kyle gotta get through this Goodwood zip before he can get caught up.
Once again, hopefully he has the lives. He's been having some live issues.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Whew.
But alright, after that, we just got a Heatman to go, and Kyle will be following suit to Ari in Wally 1, where we got a thing to do. So, for those that are in chat, we like to mess around and just play just a silly little game. We got a dragon that's gonna be coming up soon. The people in the comms, would like for you, the people in the chat, to guess the dragon's weakness, the color, and for little bonus points, guess the design of the dragon. We got a couple of designs. We got a couple of shades dragon. One like some 80s barber shades. One with some anime look to it. We got our normal dragon, our vanilla dragon. We got our oats and swag dragon. We got a dragon corn with a little cute little horn on the top of his head. And there's still that one mystery dragon that I keep alluding to that's in here that still needs to be seen. Tom, we don't have too much time, so do you have any guesses?
Okay, I'm gonna go mystery dragon every time. Let's say, oh, purple would be awesome. Week 2, quick boomerang. What about yourself, Creed?
Yeah, I want to get this mystery dragon done is so well, so I don't want to be a liar here. But regardless, we're just gonna go true blue. It'll be Buster Week and it'll be blue dragon.
Uh-oh, pause canceling out of the item can cause problems. Well, don't be too much of a hurry. There we go. Okay, Kyle's up, but already about to fight the dragon already. Already getting a little bit ahead.
And our dragon is vanilla.
Sort of a pinkish red.
Hard to tell with some of these screens. It could be just about any kind of color, but it's definitely not Buster, so nothing for me. But Quick Boomerang's doing. Yep, Quick Boomerang's doing the job.
Yeah, it might look a totally different color on Kyle's screen, depending on what kind of emulator he's using, so find out pretty soon. Alright, good. Pause canceling out of the time stopper to try and save it. Looks like we had a bat hiding behind his health, too.
Alright, so Ari started the route through Wally 2. Kyle about to fight the dragon, but we know it's at least weak to Quick Boomerang. There is one other weakness that Kyle can potentially find for the dragon, but we'll see if he finds that other weakness or he'll eventually find Quick Boomerang and stick with it.
Yeah, I definitely probably try page 2 first, which always makes sense because you're gonna just be on page 2 after using item 1. So, alright, Buster, no good. Oh, is he trying to charge the heat? Nah, try something else. Alright, his health in pretty good shape. Ooh, did he find air shooter? He sure did.
So if you had air shooter as a weakness, you actually did win a little bit of something. You win a virtual high five, but that's pretty much like what, 1 out of 3 ain't bad or some such.
It's something. Alright, so we got some Pico variety as well we can gamble on. First of all, just coming out of random positions now as opposed to in previous years. It's always exciting. At least he's able to see him today. We have Twitch Pico and Weak to Metal. Already found that very quickly, so this will help him get even further ahead.
Yeah, but this battle is draining very quickly. Maybe 2 shot, but he's not going to be able to beat Picos with 1 shot with this. So he could have to find at least one other weakness to finish this off. So I would not say Metal Blade is a good weakness for this fight.
Wisely using an E-Tank as well. He probably could have taken 1 more hit, but I mean, he knows he's going to probably very likely have to use it anyway. See? There it is. Probably would have survived it, but better safe than sorry. Sage gives you a couple E-Tanks, or at least 1. And Alright, on to Wily 3 for Ari. See how Kyle does with the Pico coming up. Will he need to use an E-Tank? Will he go for the health at the end? Oh, more time stopper usage. Fill the metal blade. It's about all the way. As Kyle goes for the health. And he's already on metal. And I think he's full, so he might not even need to switch to a different one. As long as he doesn't miss a shot. It's always tempting to shoot an extra one or two here and there. Yeah, he's gonna need an extra weapon at some point. Just a question of how long he wants to spend his metal blades. You can switch now, you can switch later, but it's inevitable.
Yeah. Meanwhile, keeping up with Ari's progress going through the slime-filled waters of Wally 3. About to make the way to the Guts Tank. Guts Tank, very straightforward fight. Two potential weaknesses. Third being the Buster on chance. Got Buster equipped. We're about to see Buster is indeed one of the weaknesses. But no, we're not even gonna get the Guts Dozer. Gonna get ourselves a special guest star in our Bowser tank. And it is indeed Buster Week, so not gonna have to worry about switching to any weapons, and weapon consumption and management will be at a premium.
Same color as a dragon from the looks of it. Well, we got Ari about a full stage ahead at this point. Really just blazing ahead. He's gonna stop to fill something. Alright, just one real quick. Ah, I see. Using item 3 to get up the ladders a little bit more quickly. Pause canceling to get rid of the damage as Kyle makes it into the slime. Uh-oh.
That man doing a little negating on Ari's progress here.
Not a major loss. Alright, let's see how he handles these. You can use item 1 there. Oh, he's gonna use item 3. Oh, a little bit of a risk there. Well, never mind, he's got on the second try, but then, yeah, now he's out. But he shouldn't have any more need for any item 3, so probably wants to save his item 1s.
Yeah, I would think to do item 1 to try to safely navigate this area where there is a randomized hole along the way.
Ooh, so Kyle not trying Buster, but it looks like he found something else. Bubble, I think.
Bubble, pretty good, but very bad on ammo consumption. One bubble per tick. Probably gonna take some time to refill that bubble just in case it's weak to anything else, like our boobies, for example.
Well, luckily he's got some free ammo right here. He decides to grab it, which looks like he is. Definitely don't blame him. Oh wait, he just put it in his item 3. Okay. So these guys both want their item 3 for the start of Wily 4. See how Ari does with the screen. I don't know how else to describe it. Every time I refer to it, I just say, you know what screen I'm talking about. The Wily 4 screen. Not giving Ari any problems.
Yeah, our anxiety rules, once again, being like rest stops with no enemies along the way. Pretty safe traversal for Ari. Meanwhile, Kyle, after having some item 3 remaining, is going for the vertical wrap. Gonna see if you're gonna try to set up the same vertical wrap and try to get... Nope. You can set up item 3 and climb in such a way where you can get wedged to the ceilings and get some extra zip distance, but Kyle opted to just continue on normally. While we do have our Pico units, trying to find out what is the wall and Pico weaknesses, knowing that they are not the same, and we find that at least Leaf Shield is our wall weakness, but as a result it's not our Pico weakness. So it's gonna have to dig for what the actual weakness to the turrets are.
Yeah, it's got pretty well narrowed down so far. It looks like he just found it. Is that bubble? I think so. Oh, Kyle didn't fill his bubble, did he?
Nope.
Oh. Well.
Well, speaking of Kyle, unfortunately, he takes an unfortunate drop on the third screen of our platform rooms. So winds up going a little further back, while Ari's taking care of the turrets. Gonna go into our refights here. Pretty much at this point, it's his race to lose, but even though we're pretty far along, there's still a world where Kyle can still potentially come back, but it's gonna be hard with Ari's having such a significant lead.
Yeah, I saw his bubble ammo. I mean, That was taking a lot of ammo per shot, so... Yeah, I mean, unless he decides to pick something up from a drop in the last screen, I don't even know if he's got enough to make it through this. I mean... Yeah, Ari's pretty safe right now from what I can see. I don't know if these guys picked up any boss weaknesses on the way that I recall.
Yeah, it looks like Ari's gonna buster it out, but that always brings to be a little bit of debate where you're willing to dig for weaknesses or just stick with the buster even though you haven't found any weaknesses. I know you probably a little bit more attuned to just stick with buster even if you might not have found any weaknesses. I usually like to dig for weapons just to try to get some kind of speed edge, but the consequence about that is there's always a chance where you're just digging for weapons too long.
Yeah, time and ammo. Usually you don't even want to do that for half the bosses that are soft weak to buster. And, you know, for the rest, it really just kind of depends on just how slow it feels like it's going. Usually with heat, maybe like air, sometimes even quick, you might want to fish. Or depending on who's like underwater, like if it's Flash underwater, he might be like, you know, if he's only taking 2 damage, then that can be a pretty slow fight without a weakness, for example. Oh, well, Kyle at least knows some weaknesses, and actually, yeah, he made it through, didn't he? Oh, I should have paid closer attention. Well, good for him. Race got a whole lot more close, and Kyle with more E-tanks in case he needs them. So
yeah,
quite a bit
but
of
once
catching
again,
up to do.
No, go ahead, Tom.
No, that's pretty much it.
But yeah, I was just about to say that Ari is on his last Robot Master and about to fight off against the Wallet Machine. Of course, always got to check to see Buster's weakness. Even though Buster has a very reduced chance of being a weakness nowadays in newer builds, you still always want to check because there's still always a chance. But right now, we found one in an air shooter, but it's not for the second phase. Let's see what the second phase is. It looks like Metal Blade's doing the job for the second phase.
Oh, Ari's got this. He's got, I think, an E-tank, and yep, machine's down. On his way to Victory Road. As long as he's got the ammo for whatever boss ends up being weak to. Should come in at around a 32 or so. Maybe lower if he's lucky.
So yeah, Ari on his way to our alien. Once again, alien's only weak to one weapon. Ari just gotta dig for that weapon. That's all that needs to be done. Kyle still has maybe a couple of Robot Masters to go to before finding the Wallet Machine. After you get the safety, waste a little bit of time, but as long as you don't get yourself killed.
Yeah, he has the E-tanks though. I mean, getting pretty close to the end, but anyway, it all kind of depends on what the weakness is here and if Ari's got enough of it. We got the Quaker Oats alien from the looks of it. Looks like he found something. It's Quick Boomerang. He's got the ammo. He's got this. Doesn't take like too much contact damage. Almost never a problem. I'd say pretty safe bet. He's gonna. Any second now. Okay, he's gonna use it. And GG's to Ari for winning race 1.
Better safe than sorry. Ari finishing first place with official race time.gg time of 32 minutes and 12 seconds. Well done to Ari.
Yeah, very good time as well. Kyle's still digging for weaknesses for the machine here. No, it's not Buster. Oh, does he even have... Okay, found Metal Blade. Should have enough of that. I don't believe... Was that what Ari was using on second... Oh, never mind. There's a second phase. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and see if Kyle's enough Quick Boomerang to wrap up the seed. He's got more than enough E-tanks, so he should be fine. Should hopefully come in under 34.
Should be very good with Quick Boomerang energy. Quick Boomerang, one of those weapons that never really seems to have quote unquote high ammo consumption, and you get plenty of boomerangs to go through most of the game.
Yeah, good for spamming if something's, especially if like a Wily stage boss is weak to it. Without the iframes, spamming it pretty quickly can make anything go down very quickly that's weak to it.
But yeah, once again, we got our Oats alien all Kyle needs to do is just quickly find that quick boomerang, and we'll be done with our race 1. Oh, it's gonna take a little bit of time. He winds up doing the pace chew gambit, so it's gonna take a little bit of extra time before eventually finding quick boomerang, which he does by this point.
There we go. Well, he's already past the 34-minute mark, so he's figuring, alright, might as well just use the E-Tank at this point. Still a very good effort on Kyle's part. Great races from both.
Yep, Kyle finishing with an official time of 34 minutes and 11 seconds. Not too bad, but once again, Ari winning the race so far. He is up 1-0 on Kyle. If Kyle wants to stay in this race, he's gonna need to beat him in race 2, which will be coming up shortly. So after this short break, we'll be back to business and coming up with that race 2. So sit back and hang tight. We'll be back in a moment.
Stick around. See you guys soon.
And we are back. This is the boy LV Creed here, getting right back to work as Ari and Kyle have gotten themselves set up and will be continuing race 2. For those that are just coming in, we have Ari winning the first race. So he's up 1-0 against Kyle, who's trying to make a comeback and try to even things up and force a race 3. Joining me on comms here is Casual Tom. Casual Tom, how you hanging in there?
Enjoying this. I didn't mention it earlier, but I do have a vested interest into whoever's going to win this race because they'll be going up against me in the very next round. So it's very exciting. We have both guys performing very strongly in the first race. Kyle's just having a little bit of luck with some enemy place or bad luck, I should say, with enemy placement, trying to make some zips work. But anything could happen in this one. So just really excited to see what happens next. Both have already started on their end. We're just kind of waiting for the restream to catch up. We can see the countdown's already beginning.
Yeah, both our runners still maintain that Tournament A. As mentioned in the beginning, we'll be doing Tournament A throughout the entirety of the race, even if a race 3 is scheduled. So it will be 80% with our stages revealed, as you see on our screens here, and both our runners opting to go to Quickman stage. Once again, Quickman stage being one of our go-to stages for quick safeties, and it's just a general straightforward stage where items are usually not of benefit, especially with some of our randomized settings. So this is what you're going to be seeing our two runners go. Let's just hope for enemy kindness.
Kyle getting a 1-up from the very first enemy he killed. And then another one. So yeah, no game overs for him in this seed, I predict. And then again, the worst thing that can happen in quick stage is if you have a bunch of enemies in this corridor that are not immune to the buster, but doesn't seem to be a problem today. These guys still neck and neck as they're going to be probably throughout the course of the stage. Mostly going to just be really consistent from seed to seed from here. Okay, we did not have any black quick beams on black background today. I promise that's a thing that actually does happen. But I don't think I've seen these quick beams before. What would you say?
Yeah, there are a couple of new force beam designs that are added to the rando, but it doesn't change their lethality.
You just can walk right by these enemies, no need to even slow down for them. Who's behind door number 1, and will they need to burn another E-tank?
Alright, so our first robot master in Quickman room will be
Wood again! Oh!
with a false start leaf shield this time around.
But at least he's soft weak to Buster, so he'll go down without too much trouble. Well, these guys have enough health, and they are synced going to the next stage. Will they sync up with the next stage they're going to pick? Last time they picked Bubble. Yep. Once again.
The slow falling leaves definitely helping keeping Woodman more vulnerable, so it can go down much faster. But yeah, looks like both our runners' MO is just, once you got all your safeties in order, just go to Bubble and see if you can find something in there.
Yeah, and those prop tops, very tanky in this seed. Weak to Buster, but sort of not really. A little bit of pause buffering needed on Arispici's part. Slowing him down a little bit compared to Kyle, giving Kyle a slight lead. See how many pause buffers each needs to pull off this Buster only zip on this screen here. Alright, a little bit ahead now, actually.
Yeah, those little execution decisions here and there kind of making some minor lead changes, but still gonna be very close between our runners. Both of them successfully doing the bubble zip and gonna be relatively on their way to the bubble boss room, considering there's no other insanity waiting against our runners.
Did anyone notice when Kyle pulled off the zip, he landed like a bit further down into the wall, and he didn't have to like do that slow underwater drop at the end? I'm not sure how he pulled that off. I'd like to learn how he did that.
Well, what our runners are about to learn is who's gonna be in this bubble room, and we got ourselves a battle. Battle in Bubble is an interesting affair. If you know how to make Battle do the underwater dance, as you saw Ari's in, you can actually take him out in relative short order and not have him fire any blades at all.
But Kyle with
Ar-
an extra hit per cycle really made the big difference there, getting him quite a bit ahead, going to Flash Stage, which Ari's also decided to choose.
Yeah, don't have to do the metal dance underwater. Trying to get 2 hits per cycle, not necessarily 1, definitely makes a difference in how fast you're able to do this, do the fight and get out of the stage as quickly as possible. Speaking of different stages, as you said, going to Flash, both of them checking our wall weakness. Unfortunately, not weak to Buster, but that does eliminate a weakness for Boobies later on.
Yeah, one less thing to check, rather. See if they can pick up another free E-Tank, depending on enemy placement here. They didn't have such luck in the last seed. Alright, well, if it's just the pressers... Oh, wait. Well, we have the... toothpaste dispensers. But, Kyle able to pause cancel. It still didn't quite make it to the E-Tank, though. A little bit lower on health, but he still got the E-Tank from the previous stage.
No, I think he went down willingly, knowing that he at least has an E-Tank. It's just decided to just use the upper portion just to take care of, to ignore things that are going down below as we get a Flashman in a Flashman room.
Only 2 damage per shot. Let's see if either of them is going to try a weapon. Alright. Yeah, Kyle's trying, but nothing really doing more damage than Buster. Kyle's still ahead. As Ari busters his way through one. Oh, he's not pause canceling the time stopper. Alright, if you're watching this back, you can do that. You get time stopped, you can pause cancel out of it, so still something to keep in mind.
That is interesting. Kyle willingly going to Heatman stage extraordinarily early. It looks like he's taking a gamble that there is an item in here and a useful item for later on. But you would normally do this stage when you have at least one or two notable items to try to make this area much faster as possible. Ari doing a little bit more of a standardized play, going to metal instead.
Yeah, for that free E-Tank. I'm willing to bet maybe this was a mistake on Kyle's part. Like a little bit of a slip of the thumb or something. Or just like a hurry to get in the next stage.
That could be the case. That could be the case. That's something we might have to inquire after this race ends. But right now, he's commit. Once he's here, he's definitely committed to going to it. Taking the deaths and game over would definitely be just as much of a setback as opposed to going through the stage under normal conditions.
Especially considering how many lives he has. Like, he should have like 4 extra lives at least, I think, right now.
Already going through the rest of the Metal Man stage, our blockies being one shot by the Buster, our frogs being one shot by the Buster. Relatively friendly enemy set for the final stretch of Metal stage. Meanwhile, Kyle actually looked like he destroyed a wall. Surely it could have been Bubble, because Bubble is not at least as far as the current merges, Bubble should never be a wall weakness, an available wall weakness rather.
He found Air Shooter actually, but the color scheme was a little bit similar to Bubble. He takes 4 per shot. Easy fight. Oh! Having fun with some Air Shooter there. So yeah, that enemy. What was that? A Fat Fan?
Yeah, that was definitely a Fat Fan.
Not weak to Buster. Let's see if that becomes a problem later on.
Meanwhile, Ari does dismiss heat in Meta Room and finds item 1 for his trouble, so we find one of our items. Meanwhile, once again, Airman being a bit of a pain. Once to pop in that E-Tank, finds a crazy weakness in Bubble, it seems.
Yeah, Kyle's digging and he's finding some stuff. I hope he's taking note of it. I don't know if these guys trust their own memory more than I do, but personally, I'll share this tip with anyone. I write stuff down. Between stages, I make little shorthand notes if I pick up items or if I find a weakness for walls or for the bosses. Just write down some letters real quick. I found that to be immensely helpful when making it to like Wily 5. But anyway, Kyle going to air next. And Ari's still using Buster on the hot dogs.
We should also make note that Kyle did not find any items in Heatman stage, so unfortunately that's probably going to wind up taking up time because we know that at least item 2 is in a different stage. So if and when stage is revealed, you know Ari is not going to willingly go to Heat without at least having an item to try to make that stage faster. Speaking of items, it looked like item 1 he did try to use it, and yep, it's stationary.
Yeah, item 2 and 3 very useful in Heat stage if you can bring them with. And even item 1, if you're doing like a zipless race, pretty good in that checkpoint screen with all the crash walls to get through that more quickly. But 2 and 3, I mean, Ari picks up either of those. He's gonna pick him up as long as he just saves Heat for later. He's gonna be able to make up quite a bit of time. Not to say that Kyle isn't, you know, finding a lot of really useful information regarding boss and wall weaknesses. So see if it makes a big enough difference. He's not going slow, that's for sure. Just not quite as much luck with the items, and I'm still willing to bet he picked Heat on accident, but we'll see if I'm wrong after we talk to him after the race.
We do have Bubble sighting here. Very slowly to the Buster, definitely not a hugging chaser, so Bubble goes down very quickly at Airman stage. You should be starting to see. Oh no, we still not seeing any items here.
Wow.
And we've been through Metal. Metal does have item 1. We're gonna see if there's an item here in actually there has to be an item here because there's no item in Heat. So item 2 and 3 has to be here in Wood. Or at least one of them is, and sure enough, item 3.
That's gonna make Crash and Heat quite a bit more easy when Ari decides to take on those. Here he goes for Crash right now, as we were just saying. Yeah, item 2 not as useful in Crash as it would be in like some of these other stages. Still can be useful in like the checkpoint screen and maybe the last screen. But Ari, see what kind of zip he's gonna try this time. Is he gonna go Buster? I guess he'll have to. Item 1's no good for zipping in this seed.
Well, if you're skilled enough, you can do a stationary item 1 zip in the first screen of Crash. But if you're not comfortable with it, you still have this zip setup that Ari's trying to do and have that as a backup. Which he does successfully.
Yeah, there he goes. First try, no less. But he's going to be making up quite a bit of time, and he'll be able to pull off some zips when he goes to Heat after this. I'd say things are looking pretty good for him. But again, I mean, you know, he's going to need to fish for the wall weakness later on, depending on what the boobing weakness is. Let's get a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's see how Kyle does here with Metal. I believe Metal gives item 1, if I recall.
Yes, once he takes care of this Heat Man, which is South Buster, so it should be a relatively fast fight.
Yeah, we can probably expect some pretty good times from both racers after this seed, as long as things continue to go this well.
Oh, it wasn't Buster Week. Ari must have used something else. Well,
yeah, he got rid of pretty quick. Ooh! That was Air Shooter, I think?
No, that was Bubble.
Oh, it was, okay. See, there I go, mixing them up again.
That's just the fate of random colors.
Uh-oh. I'm 3 getting away from Ari, but it's fine. We're getting quite far up the ladder.
Carl realizes the bad news that item 1 is stationary. Not familiar with the stationary item placements to do this zip in the first page. Gonna do the from the second screen just like Ari did and hoping to continue on from there. He's in good placement and it looks like it fails. You're gonna have to try it again.
Man, that's rough. Yeah, you really gotta play it safe and hug that wall like all the way before you drop down. Sometimes you think you got it and you just don't. I mean, that's the case with a couple of these zips.
I think it's more of a case of trying to get the proper trigger set up, which he did this time around.
That's
as
good.
Ari dispatches the boss that was in Crash Man stage, should be getting item 2, which he does.
Yeah, that was a bit of a close call, but luckily it was Buster Soft Week.
So Ari pretty much with a full advantage and pretty has a lead of some sort secured, at least up until we get to the conversion in Wally 1. So Ari on the fast track to success, trying to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, and put ourselves 2-0 and guaranteeing a win against Kyle here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good enough chance, you know, just as good as any, but obviously there's a lot that can go wrong, and Kyle, you know, he's going to be, I think, making up some time near the end with the knowledge he's already acquired. We just have to see if it's going to be enough.
Not having out of 3 being locked in wood, going to the left side to try to do the climb as quickly as possible. You can use out of 1 to get some good jump setups, but unfortunately this enemy set is not really productive in trying to get those out of 1 setups.
Yeah, Ari not really having any trouble with the enemy placement here. I didn't see, did he try to use item 2 here at all? Maybe he's been playing it safe.
Now I think he used item 1 in the first screens of the stage, so
Okay.
did have any item 2 or get item 2 energy for the second half of the stage.
Yeah, very quick bubble fight here. He'll get him on this first cycle for sure. And then, yeah, this quick man goes down rather quickly as well. Oh, just use Buster. He's soft weak to it, but probably hoping he doesn't have to use an E-Tank. But he's gonna use it anyway. And then there he goes. So 1 stage left each. We got Ari. He's gonna get through this really quickly if he decides he wants to zip. Or use item 2 for that. I mean, there's so much time he can make up right here. Now let's see how Kyle does if he wants to try good wood here. Maybe why he saved wood for last.
Well, item 3 is locked in here, so
never mind.
good wood is gonna be very hard to do. You can try for a cheeky setup with the item 1, similar to how I explained you can do a position setup to set up a zip in a particular screen in wood, but it's very hard to set up, so I think good wood might be out of the cards for Kyle. Meanwhile, speaking of zips, Ari gonna set up for item 3 to do the zip here.
Uh-oh, Kyle. Okay, burn that other E-Tank. That's his last one, but, you know, as long as he can make it up to Wily 2, he'll be able to grab another one there. Alright, very wise using weapons against the hot dogs. Alright, with nice item 2 placement there, gets all the way across.
Ari finding a little bit of unfortunate news that fan feeds are Buster immune. Quickly finds the quick boomerang to dispatch of them. Meanwhile, Kyle, unfortunately, with no real means to skip the area, gonna have to go to the top of the treehouse and just deal with whatever going on in there.
Yeah, very nice of that fat fan to give Ari full health going into this airman fight, but will Ari be able to do it without needing to burn an E-Tank? Probably. Alright, oh, he's got it. Nice, very nice. Alright, well, Ari going into the Wily 1, so you know what we gotta do.
Yeah, this time we're a little bit on time here as we get our Oats appearance. We do like to continue to play our games here. Once again, we got a dragon, we got a color, a weakness, and a design for you to guess. So give those guesses in chat, and we're just gonna go ahead and just get started our own end. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna be looking for some shades of gray. It's gonna be weak to leaf shield, and I'm still hoping for that one mystery dragon. I'm gonna continue to try to will it into existence until maybe the end of time, who knows.
Yeah, let's go Mystery Dragon again. I'm gonna say pink, weak to Metal Blade. Hope I can remember all 3 of those things.
Unfortunately, Kyle taking a nasty death. Didn't have any safeties to prevent him from getting killed by specifically Dumb Crash. So, unfortunately, taking another setback, but it's still right behind Ari, about to go into a Wily 1 as well. So, looks like we got about half a state, a little more than half a stage by the time Kyle gets into Wily 1 proper.
Yeah, Kyle bit of knowledge about wall weaknesses and boss weaknesses that he should benefit from later on, but I believe I found at least one weakness at some point too, now that I think about it. If I'm correct. Alright, so that's stationary item 1. Not slowing him down at all. And, right, last climb here. Not gonna give him any trouble. Gonna use some item 3 to try and make up a little bit of time, and then very shortly we'll see what color the dragon is and what he's weak to. Please, God, come on, someone get that mystery dragon. I got it in practice and it was hilarious. Creed was there. He was like, yep, that's the one, but no more spoilers until it actually happens in the tournament season.
Yep.
Alright, not quite, but yeah. Light blue, oats, no, sorry, swag dragon.
Yeah, he swagged it.
Yeah.
Not weak to the Buster. Chicken Bubble.
Alright, so Ari's not checking page 2 first. Burn the E-Tank, play it safe. Wow. Taking a minute to find the weakness here. It's probably gonna be like Leaf Shield or, yeah, it's gotta be Leaf Shield and Atomic Fire.
Yeah, probably one of the 2 worst weaknesses because you really can't spam them, but honestly, I would have tried, at least tried Atomic Fire to see if it's a charge variant or a supercharge. If it's supercharged, you can definitely mash 2 shots and get some quick shots in. But Ari stuck with Leaf Shield, so arguably the slowest possible fight, depending on how heat works.
Yeah, either one's pretty slow, like you said, depending on how heat works. Because sometimes you don't even have to charge it, and you can just mash it really quick. I don't know if either of them check to see heat's behavior yet in this seed, but it can be worth it. You know, the worst thing that can happen is if it's heat and heat requires a charge, and then if wood is the other weakness, but then the x-axis is inverted. Yeah, it's going to take Kyle a minute to find this too. I mean, they're not the first ones people are going to check, because you're just going to want something faster, but Kyle finds it. Alright, still probably a little over half a stage behind. Alright, very smart of Arispici to use crash bombs on the tin cans in this corridor. You do not want to take the contact damage if you can avoid it. Alright, should have enough item 3 make it up there, no problem. Well, Kyle knows the wall weakness. Is he going to stop to grab an E-Tank? I mean, he could if he wants.
We're about to find out in a moment, but what we're also about to find out is what kind of Pico unit that Ari is about to face. The Pico units were a little kind of being Twitch chat Picos, but there is one variant of Pico that can spell trouble, but let's see what we got. It's vanilla, but it's in a randomized secret, so, and it's Buster weak, so pretty tame Picos we got here.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably kill a little quicker if it's weak to metal or wood, but I mean, Buster, like I said, you're going to save that ammo, so you don't need to slow down for pickups in next stage or the one after that. Yeah, Ari's still really good on health, really good luck avoiding the Picos, whose placements are randomized in 2025 edition of the Randomizer.
Yeah, there are some situations where you can get tripped up by the Pico randomizations, because you think you're safe in one place, then all of a sudden, surprise, you get bodied by Pico in a place that you didn't expect it to come out. I had that happen to me a time or two. So there is some tricky stuff that can happen, but Ari able to take care of the Pico units. Kyle started to fight here, does find the Buster weakness, so just keep tracking the Picos, and Kyle should be in Wally 3 is soon enough, as Ari's already making the traversal in that area.
Yeah, Ari doing really good, like no major mistakes here really on his end, you know, no deaths yet, you know, knock on wood. And even Kyle doing really good, just, you know, had the unfortunate thing happen where he just went to heat without any utilities. Health in good shape, and yeah, still right on Ari's tail. Ari almost a full stage ahead at this point.
Well, Wally 3 being a relatively short stage, being a stage ahead isn't that far.
And with the knowledge of the walls, he could grab, well, he's not going to, but he's probably pretty confident in his E-tanks. I haven't checked to see how much he's got, but I'm gonna stop and fill his ammo. Wow. Ari finds Guts weakness very quickly on an excellent pace going into Wily 4. What was that, bubble?
That should be quick boomerang, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, Ari making a beeline to Wily 4. Just gotta look like take some of those item refills for item 3 to try to make the vertical section as fast as possible. Hopefully not too many execution errors. There are situations where you can get tripped up by how some of the randomizations, at least on the fake floors, can cause some issues. Meanwhile, Kyle's about to face off against the Guts tank, knowing that at least Quick Boomerang is a weakness. We're gonna see how soon Kyle finds that, or whatever second weakness that's available here.
Okay, Ari's still gonna use item 1 to go through this screen right here, but yeah, pretty risky to try the Buster only strat when the tiles look the way they do. But yeah, Kyle found a different weakness, but he doesn't have quite enough of it. Luckily he found, I guess that was Quick Boomerang immediately after, and didn't have to burn another E-tank.
But unfortunately, probably gonna need to consider refilling that crash ammo.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere along the line for safety purposes. Meanwhile, Ari going through our anxiety rules and finds that we got some very tenacious buddies just waiting in the wings here.
Alright, good. Ari's still with a little bit of item 1 left. Almost ran out right there. Pause cancel a little bit too hastily, but he's got enough item 2 to make it across this right here. Well, he has enough item 1 to damage boost the spikes and go up. I just got damage boost another. Oh, never mind. He landed on the platform. He's good.
Yeah, Ari was a little bit in a precarious spot, but fortunately he had all that he needed to continue to move on. Kyle tried to do the vertical wrap again, but just a little bit out of position on the wall to do it successfully, so it's gonna wind up taking a little bit of the long walk around, using item 2 to ignore that screen, which once again has that randomized fake floor.
Alright, so he's gonna probably try Leaf Shield and... Oh, never mind. Ari does not need the wall weakness after all, from the looks of it. Except he doesn't really have utilities, so maybe he does. As long as he can item 2 up there, but even still, if he falls back down, you know, very likely he'll have to hunt for the wall weakness after all. Oh, but he made it up there. Never mind. Well then.
The joys of sprite limitations. But yep,
Still...
Ari taking care of the boobies with one of the god weaknesses. And now is on to our boss rush once again. Just a slight advantage over Kyle, who's just now about to go do the final stretch and find out that our turrets are weak to the leaf shield, but time is running out as Ari is just now starting on the boss rush. Looks like he finds the south weakness. Yeah, finds south weakness to Quick Boomerang, it seems. So maybe by the time that Kyle's out of here, he's probably gonna have half of the Robot Masters done, debatably. It just depends on if you're gonna stick with Buster for some of the bosses or stick for weaknesses. Right now, the ball is on Ari's court in this case.
Yeah, definitely his race to lose. He's in a pretty good spot. I believe he probably has some E-tanks. Kyle still got the 1. Just needs to figure out the Boo Beam weakness.
Not sure why he didn't decide to check up on his god weaknesses immediately. Why not waste the extra time trying to find out other weaknesses rather than check out the god ones immediately, puts him a little bit further behind while Ari is on his 6th Robot Master and just pretty much just pathing the course to victory here.
Yeah, that's always the mistake you can make if you find out the wall weakness early, is just trying to blow the walls away when you might not really need to even do that at all. So Ari benefiting really greatly with the randomization again, but both them still same stage, just Ari about 4 or 5 Raw Masters ahead of Kyle. We got a slow metal fight underwater. I know Kyle was able to finish off metal underwater a little bit more quickly with about 2 shots per cycle. But yeah, seems like Ari's gotten into the rhythm just about, and grabs the health, makes it out of there. One more to go for Ari. And it looks like Kyle pause canceling out of the time stopper. Ooh, that was a close one. Alright, so Ari about to face the machine.
Or not Buster, always gotta take a chance. But of course, not weak this time, so the dick applies. And I was about to say it could be Boomerang, but look like it bubbles, at least for the first phase. Is the god weakness for both phases though? Or you're gonna have to hunt for a second phase?
Is he gonna use an okay, good. Yeah, he's got plenty of tanks, so he might as well. Alright, now I'm a lot less worried.
And it is indeed the god weakness for both phases, so Bubble is the go-to for the Wily Machine. Ari pretty much has all that he needs to defeat this, go to victory road. Just got an alienated weakness to go through.
Yeah, I mean he should be pretty good on ammo. Whatever the boss is weak to, he's got the E-tanks. I'd say it's pretty safe. Kyle not super far behind though. Let's see if he can maybe get a quicker time than he did in the previous seed, if anything. If he can just get that sub 34. A great seed for Kyle, just you know, didn't really have the opportunity to do any zipping in one of the zippiest stages in the game.
Alright, Ari about to face our alien, which was up being Big Pippin Wily.
Oh wow, that's a dope sprite.
Shoutouts to No Constancy for that one.
Well, Ari's got the weakness, so just gotta get up close and personal. Maybe burn an E-tank if necessary. Try and get that sub 31. I think he's got it. Let him come down one more time. He's got this. GG's to Ari.
Yep. Ari officially winning the race and the match entirely 2-0, finishing with a time of 30:53. GG's to Ari. He will be continuing on in the upper brackets.
Kyle just trying to compete with his previous time. Oh, but okay, good. He's out. Gotta make sure he's got
a little close. Yeah, I was about to say he's just cut it a little close on the health, but able to finish off. And now it's just gotta go through our final stage where our Big Pippin Wally is weak to vanilla.
Yeah, he should definitely be able to get sub 33 in this case. He'll at least be able to beat his previous time. But yeah, very, very respectable time for Ari. 30s are great, especially depending on the seed, what it throws at you. And when you get like a 30, like nothing really went seriously wrong, most likely. Pretty much gotta not die. And get some zips along the way.
Alright. Kyle doing the big old weapon dive. Once again, we know that Bubbles' weakness. It's just a case of how soon that he finds it. He finally finds it, so all he's gotta do is just mash down those bubbles, and we got ourselves a finish run here on Kyle's end.
Does he have an E-tank in case he needs it? Probably doesn't. Oh, never mind. GG's to Kyle. GG's to both.
Kyle finishing with an official time of 32:35. And according to race time, that is at least a race time PB. So we got some clean running here.
All right, congrats to both. All right, so next we should hopefully be able to get both of them in here and ask them what they think, how they feel, what was going through their heads. What they learned, what they could learn.
But yeah, regardless, we should be checking who is potentially be facing who, because like you said, you do have a little bit of a vested interest in this.
Oh, I know what's next for me now.
So yeah, Ari, your opponent will eventually be Ari. Coming up whenever y'all able to get that scheduled up. So you got some interesting meets to prepare for.
I'm gonna see if I can make that happen pretty soon. But see what he has to say. Looks like he'll be here any moment now.
And we are indeed joined by our winner of this match, Arispici. How you doing? How you feeling about this race?
Hello, gentlemen. Pretty good, pretty good. Seeds are pretty kind to me. They really went my way today.
Yeah, excellent performance out there today, especially in that second seed too. Really, I could see you know what you're doing. Nothing really went wrong. You had your intentions, and just amazing time, amazing runs. That's very impressive. So excellent job. Love to see it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It was very straightforward. Just kind of went in there, did my thing. Everything worked out. I had a couple things that in practice I came across that I realized, oh, hey, you know, I know how to handle this, so I can get around to doing my shtick. So, yeah.
Now, one thing that I wanted to point out, I wasn't aware of this until this year, but when Flashman uses Time Stopper, you can actually pause cancel out of it. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, because I'm not sure I saw you do it, but I brought that up a little bit during the race.
You know what? I actually think I came across that in practice, but it didn't go through my mind when I was, like, in the moment.
That was, like, really the only note I had, but everything else looked great. I might have even learned a thing or two.
I was gonna say, that's actually really good to know, because, like, I think it was, like, an afterthought when I was in practice. I'm like, did that actually happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know until I saw Swift pull that off when I was paying attention to one of the races, and I saw Kyle was doing it also. Speaking of Kyle, GG's to you as well. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, great races for both you guys, and you know, on Kyle's end too. I mean, you know, it's Ari just with a little bit better luck getting the items earlier and taking them to the right stages. But what are your thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You know, both seeds were very rough for me. I didn't get my items until like later on, and yeah, just trying to conserve my energy for special weapons, and I had to stop and refill quite a bit. And it was just, you know, not as fast as I wanted to go, but still, I hope we put on a good show for everybody.
Oh, sure you did. Yeah, and you know, you dug around a little bit and you found some weaknesses fairly early on too. I thought for sure it was going to give you a bit of an edge, like, you know, going into Boo Beam and then the refights, but unfortunately we had Boo Beam's weak to Leaf Shield, so knowing that wall weakness early didn't seem to make a difference there. Ari, on the other hand, I think found Leaf Shield almost right away for that fight, but you know, still, you know, great races nevertheless. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I asked you though, like when you picked Heat stage in that second seed, was that intentional to pick it so early?
Was that for Ari or for me?
No, that was for Kyle. Yeah, because I know you went through Heat pretty early in that second seed, but you didn't have the items yet.
I picked Heat as stage 4 because I figured the items were probably locked behind Heat, and if there was a zip I was going to give up on, it was going to be that one.
Ah, okay, I see. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we asked you about that one, but yeah, Ari on the other hand, going to the stage with item, I think 2 and 3, saving it for much later, so picking up a bit of time there.
Yeah, on the second seed, I went into Heatman the last stage, actually. Because I had all 3 items, and I had Heat and Air left. So I'm just like, alright, I'm just going to try to get Air out of the way. I know was it the first seed or the second seed that I took a Def and Airman stage because of the Joes? I think it was the first seed.
Oh, maybe it was a second. Yeah, that's right. No, I think it was the first seed, actually, now that I think about it. There was like a couple. Yeah, you know what? It was the Armor Joes, and then like getting sniped again, I think, fairly early on. But still picking up a lot of time to make it up.
But, no, I mean, I felt pretty good about everything. Like, it was a pleasure to race you, Kyle. I'll say that much. GG's to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. GG to you. Congratulations, man.
Oh, thanks. Had a lot of fun today. I hope everybody who's watching at home had a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it was fun to watch for us, for sure. Fun to commentate on. And now we gotta talk about what's next for both you guys. Let's just get right into it. Ari, you know who you're racing next?
I do know who I'm racing next, my friend.
Yeah, so we got that to look forward to. Let's try and make it happen pretty soon. I'll get to you about my availability really soon. I can't wait. I'm excited to get that done, see how it goes. I could see it really going either way. Your times are very comparable to mine. So, yeah, it just might be, you know, I could flip a coin. I really don't know who to pick for this one, but it's going to be great. Very much something to look forward to. And then for Kyle, I think, are you going against Charlie next? Is that right?
No, I'm
Oh,
looking at it
okay.
right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're going against 2% Chungus.
Oh, Chungus, that's right.
Right on.
Okay.
Chungus. I wasn't sure if there was going to be losers bracket or not, but it sounds like you and Ari, Tom and Ari are going to race next for the tournament bracket.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
going to be quite the showdown. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to have a lot of
Awesome.
fun with it.
Right on. I'm excited for that one. That'll be cool. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'm up against Chungus next. That should be pretty good too.
Oh, that's
Right
going to
on.
be an awesome
Definitely.
race.
Yeah. And everyone who placed this year, you know, definitely can put on a good show. Like, they're all very much worth watching. So, but yeah, I'll try and catch that one certainly if I can, and yeah, we'll try and make things happen as soon as we can. So,
Right on. Even
yeah.
if I get knocked out of the tournament early, I'll probably come back and do some commentary, even if I'm not in there anymore.
yeah, something to look forward to. Who knows? Maybe you can even get in the booth with me one of these days. I always try and make it happen when I can. Just availability's not always super easy or convenient, but glad I was able to do it today. I always try to do it at least once per season.
Heck yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, anything either of you guys want to say before we move on? Maybe Ari?
Yeah, of course. I do have a little bit of an anecdote coming into today. I got to see some Mega Man rock music last night. I got to see the Megas and Fit Brigade, and it was a great show. They gave me a shout out live in the concert, and really carried the energy onto today. So I did dedicate this race to the Megas. Those guys are awesome. It was a lot of fun last night.
Very cool. Happy for you. Kyle, anyone? Or anything?
Oh yeah, just thanks everybody for putting this thing together, and thanks to you guys for commentating and tracking today. Tom and LV Creed, and you know, Quantum and Charlie Boy, and everybody for putting the whole tournament randomizer stuff together.
Yeah, big thanks to LV Creed for supporting me here and taking care of all the steps behind the scenes, the tracking, and really doing the heavy lifting. Always appreciate you. And thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for putting on such a great show.
Yeah,
All right.
I will say we appreciate everybody who comes out and has a good time, because I can tell you, it's super fun to perform, and if you guys like it too, even better. And thanks to SpeedGaming as well for allowing us to put this on and having the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament be a part of SG Live 2025 this year. Thank you, Tom, for commentating. Also, thank you, LV Creed, for doing stuff behind the scenes. And Kyle, thanks for the great races, man.
Right on.
Pretty much done all the job for me. Don't need to do much. The only thing I do need to announce is that we do have at least one more race scheduled. It's still going to be a little while. It's going to be next week, Monday, September the 1st, at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight between our final two first round opponents, Siberian Bull and Swift. So stay tuned and keep an eye on the SpeedGaming chain of networks to see when that's going to be happening. But yeah, pretty much everyone else did all the stuff for me, so we can just go ahead and cut off right here. So for our racers, Arispici and Kyle, once again, congratulations to Ari, who's going to be continuing on in the upper brackets. Kyle, good luck in the lower. Of course, to my excellent co-commentator and interviewer who did that heavy lifting. In casual time, this is your boy LV Creed. We shall be seeing you the next time as we continue our Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament for the 2025 SpeedGaming Live Online Tournament season. Until then, take care, everyone.
Thanks so much. Have a great evening, everyone. Good job, you guys. GG.
I